think I'm going to try to finish my scrapbook today, and I'm going to wrap Christmas gifts today.
What am I going to do today? I just paid my student loan. I have to make my invoice so I can get a bunch of money from my job. And I actually wanted to do a longer drawing today.
Yeah.
I probably should go to the grocery store, but I don't know. I also wanted to get my hair trimmed.
This is so weird just having you on the screen. There's no like black screen separating us.
And I can't see like more of your background either. It's very vertical. And I'm like,
obviously to the listeners, Kaylin's not here.
Yeah,
she's out
she
of the
wasn't just
country.
staying silent the entire time. Like, she's just not here.
We weren't just over talking her. She's just not here. She's out of the country.
Oh, wait. So we're talking as if we actually did this during the time when she was gone.
Well, we were supposed to do it while she was gone. That's why she's not here.
Yeah, so she was out of the country. She actually is back now, and we were supposed to do this while she was in Mexico. Mm-hmm. So we're going to pretend like she's still in Mexico right now.
Yeah. So she's still in Mexico. That's why she's not here.
Bing bong. So
we're doing an episode without her, and the listeners don't know what we're doing. Because we said we were going to keep it a surprise.
I'll tell them.
So, Kinsey, let them know what we're watching.
We are watching season 1 of 7 Deadly Sins, which is an anime for all of our non-anime watchers, listeners. And I'm going to talk about it because I showed Mariah the show, even though this isn't my week of showing the group stuff. Because she recommended that her and I review it for this week. And I was like, bro, I literally forgot about 7 Deadly Sins, even though I'm the one that even told her to watch it in the first place, like a long time ago. I was like, that's a good rec. So, anyways, I started watching 7 Deadly Sins.
Oh, bro, wait, bring us in. I forgot to do our intro.
Hey, welcome to Post-Credit Depression, where we talk about this week's current hyperfixation. My name's Kinsey, and my fun fact is that I just bought my first bar of shampoo soap, and I'm very excited because I've been putting it off for a long time because I didn't know if I'd like it, but I've gotten to the point where I have no choice because my baking soda method has started to not work.
My name's Mariah, and my fun fact is that the Haikyuu movie trailer dropped literally 2 days ago, and I haven't stopped talking about it.
That's what I thought you were going to say, and I was like, I hope she picks that.
I'm literally like...
She's repping it. She's got a shirt on. It's all she's thinking about. It's all she's eating and breathing.
Thinking about. That is sadly all I've been tweeting about. That's embarrassing.
Killing herself has been postponed.
It has been, at least until February 16th, everyone.
Like the end of the day of February 16th, or like, is it a movie or is it?
It's a movie.
Oh, okay. So
it'll be released in Japan on February 16th. I don't know when we'll have access to it in America.
I thought it was going to keep you alive for at least a couple months, but it's only a movie. Damn.
But it's part 1 of the movie, so there'll be a second part.
Sweet. So we still have some time, guys.
Yeah, you still have some time.
We got to figure out something else that keeps her going. But anyways, yeah. So this is our podcast and junk. We talk about stuff we think is cool and we want to review. So with this week being 7 Deadly Sins, I had watched this show 3 years ago, actually. Maybe like 3.5 years ago. It was quite some time ago.
3.5 because I met you 3 years ago.
Yeah, but what's weird is I like the show so much, and I'm getting older, so time doesn't feel real now. But besides all that existential shit, I watched it a long time ago. It was when I was like, kind of binging several like animes. Like I'd watch one whole anime through, and then I'd go to another one. And I came across 7 Deadly Sins, and if any of you guys have listened to this podcast for quite some time, then you know that I have a lot of religious trauma. And I like a lot of media that utilizes like Christian symbols and storytelling and like turns it around and makes something else out of it. I love it. I also have like a Hades kink, you know, like devil kink. I don't know. I like really bad characters like the antagonist, and
I think you like the lore of it. Like when it comes to like Christianity lore, like that whole like turmoil with it. You're like, this lore is cool.
The lore of like being told that you have to be a certain way to be loved, and then like it gets turned on its head, and it's like that person who's supposed to be like this angelic, you know, holy being actually isn't good for you, and is actually expecting you to be something you're not. I love stories that are like that. If you guys have ever watched Devilman Crybaby, I wouldn't recommend it. I really hated it, but I know it's really good. I just didn't like it. But what I did like about Devilman Crybaby is that the protagonist is literally a demon and the antagonist is an angel. And I always love stories like that. So Seven Deadly Sins, the thing that like really pulled me into the show was the fact that there's these 7 knights that are called the 7 Deadly Sins. And growing up in my religious household, there was lots of stuff I shouldn't be doing. So, like, when you think about the 7 sins, the worst sins or whatever the fuck, and they got like wrath and gluttony and lust and all that junk. I liked seeing
I
them.
just noticed your name this week.
Oh, hold on, let me
Sorry.
pause. Our names. Mariah called hers the sin of greed, which is Diane in the show. So each one of the 7 knights.
No, the sin of greed is Bon.
Wait, oh shit, you're right. Hold on, isn't she the sloth
She's the
one?
sin of. She's envy.
Oh, and oh my god, sorry guys, I watched this a long time ago. I'm an idiot. Sin of greed is Bon. That's so funny. I thought you were gonna make a Diane reference, but you made a Bon one. Mariah likes to switch between Diane and Bon. It just kind of depends on what her mood is, but she loves both of them practically equally.
Yeah.
And for my name, I wrote Diane's thigh gap because she's a giant. And her outfit that they have her in, I like her season 2 outfit a lot more, but her first outfit is straight up just like a full body bathing suit. And she's so tall, so obviously we're seeing up her ass all the time. So that's just what I was thinking about when I was making my name.
Valid.
But, anyways, I like how the knights in this show, when you first start watching it, they make it out to be like these are like the bad guys in the show, like the first few episodes. And it turns out they're actually the best knights out of all the land, and they're called the 7 Deadly Sins because they're just that fucking good. Later in the show, which we did not watch this season, but I'm just gonna make a blip of it, there are antagonists called the 10 Commandments. And that shit riles me the fuck up. I think that's so cool that they would take something that obviously mainstreamly is like good, so like Bible junk and Jesus stuff, and then like just turn the story around and like the 10 Commandments. What you would think, you'd be like, okay, how do they make the 7 deadly sins if each sin is technically supposed to be so negative? How could they make it a positive thing? And when you see the characters, they actually still have the traits of those kind of negative sins, but they are good people and they continue to be good and do good things. And the 10 Commandments kind of take their 10 Commandment, their holiness, and they abuse it. So they still act like that 10 Commandment, whichever one it is.
Yeah, I feel like the sins are like, it's more like they are good people, but they're tested by these sins. Like these sins are kind of like very prominent in them as people. Like Bon existing, like greed is a really big part of him. And he's like, oh, I'm like a good person, but like it's more tempting for him to be greedy out of all the sins.
Yes. Or like, you look at Meliodas being wrath. Like he can really easily get upset and he likes to, but he recognizes that when he's in that state, like he can't really control himself that much, so he tries his best not to. And they still manage to be really good people. They don't steal or just kill anybody. Yeah. And that's what I really like it. I also, being autistic, I really like mythology and like, I don't know, fantasy related lore. So like you guys know that I'm a huge Greek god nerd, and like I'm really obsessed with gods, really. Like I love Genshin because there's 7 archons and they're all gods and they're all a part of like an element that they're in control of. So when something basically has a symbol with a definition of whatever it represents and it brings them some sort of power, I'm crazy about that kind of shit. So with 7 deadly sins, they each have a tattoo. They each have the power of that sin. They also each have a really cool special weapon. It's called their treasure, and it's related to their sin, and you know, kind of like their unique talents themselves. Like Diane's a giant, so it makes sense that she would have a giant hammer. But yeah. So I just wanted to give that kind of long preface, but that preface of I found this show, I really liked it for those reasons, and I told Mariah to watch it into our friendship. When did I tell you? Like, what year did you watch it?
I mean, it was probably the end of 2021 because that was like when I was more permanently home.
That's what I thought. That's what I
You
guessed.
showed me this also when I was getting through like a mood of just wanting to binge watch anime. Like, obviously, when I met you guys, I watched Attack on Titan, and then I like watched Haiku. But that summer after my knee surgery, like I was just doing nothing besides binge watching. Like, I finally watched, um, not Promise Neverland. It was something else. And then I found Skate, and then you were like, watch Seven Deadly Sins, and then Castlevania. Like, I was
Oh
just
yeah,
going
you
through
did have
them.
a lot of time on your hands. So like I was basically just giving you Rex. That's why Mariah and I talk about how hot Castlevania characters are and all that junk. So yeah, I told her to watch Seven Deadly Sins. I was so happy that she liked it as much as she did because I do think that Seven Deadly Sins not everyone's gonna like. It also has a lot of fan service, which is a complicated topic because I don't think the fan service is good. But once you get to like a certain part of the story, it's not that it condones the fan service, but I'm like, oh, this makes sense. Like
Yeah.
I can't talk about that because I guess that's the spoiler. But if you had to ask me what my actual opinion was of it, I just think there's things that Meliodas does to,
I think it's very like an old school styled anime,
yeah,
and like which I like. I don't mind it. And I think it's not like the story isn't as as deep as some newer anime is. Like, it's not an Attack on
yeah,
Titan deepness where people are like, this is just a boring anime. I'm like, can't we just watch a show to enjoy the show?
yeah. So you could tell it's like old. So there's old things in it that don't really like line up with like the stuff that we kind of agree with now, or that it's giving old. But
Yeah,
there's good things in it that I like to watch it for.
I would agree. I'd agree. But yeah, you showed me this and I binge watched it immediately, and I honestly was shocked that I liked it as much because I was like, I remember watching the first episode with you and I saw the style and I was like, that's anime right there.
That's like 90s, early 2000s anime.
Yeah, but
Maybe like late 90s, but you know.
it definitely hooked me in, and I think I told you earlier what helps is that all the characters are extremely attractive.
What really got me going before the lore, and Bry's so right. Please tell me more. What was the first
So
character?
well, at first when you showed me this and I saw Meliodas, I was like, that's the main guy right there. That's what I'm watching this show for. But then they introduced me to Bon, and I was like, "Ugh, my heart and soul. And they introduced me to Diana or Diane. It's what's her name? Is it
Diane
Diane?
came
It's
first. But
okay.
you
Sorry,
met Diane first, but then came Bon.
isn't it Diana?
I think it's Diana. Actually, I think your manager's name is Diane, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so like, yeah, her name's
Okay,
Diana.
so they introduced me to Diana, and I was like, who is that tall hot woman?
Well, remember. Sorry to cut you off. When I told you about the show, the only thing you knew about the show was Bond. And you're like, he's really
Yes,
hot. I don't know. I don't even know what his lore is. All I know is he's sexy. So when we
yes.
started, you met Diana first, and you were like, and then you met Bond, and you were like, and
So,
you were like,
and
damn,
then
so he's cool.
I met fucking what's his name, the prince. What did you say his name was? Gil
Gil
Thunder.
Gil Thunder.
I met Gil Thunder, and he was attractive.
He's beautiful. Yeah.
And it just kept going. And then there's another. Who's Merlin? Why did I write that name down?
Merlin is the sin of gluttony, and she's sexy, and she has short black hair, and she
Yeah,
has that little like purple coat on and a
yeah,
panties. That's dude.
Merlin. And then you get to the end of the show. Spoiler: when the other fucking guy turns bad. Fucking Henderson. Henderson. That was
Henderson,
his name.
when he hit his form with his hair down, grew his hair out from that weird,
Yeah, when he
army
drank the
cut.
demon blood or whatever, and he became possessed.
Yeah, I was like,
I was like, if bad, why so hot?
yeah, but then he went back to his really short hair, which I was like, what was that
Yeah.
about?
But like, obviously, you talking about Bond hooked me in right away because I never saw the appeal of silver-haired anime characters. I never got it until now.
And then we got a couple other ones we like, but yeah, I feel like Bond
Yeah.
was like your first silver hair character.
Well, Inuyasha was first,
Yeah, but you're right, actually.
but I was also a child. So you got me hooked in right away. And I will say, like I said, like the story itself is very interesting because you start off knowing that they're the seven deadly sins, but then they show the pictures of them on the wall and you're like, these aren't the people that I'm meeting.
Yeah, they look completely the
So
fuck
it's
different.
like kind of confusing, and then you're like not understanding like why everyone hates them. And everyone has their own unique backstories. Like when they meet again, it's like, oh my god, I haven't seen you in 100 years, and I'm like, why haven't they seen each other? Like there's just so much. There's very much a lot of layers to the lore behind them.
I
Like even the King
love
and
that.
Diana lore. Like I was like,
Mm.
she doesn't remember you, fucker. What are you doing?
I'm obsessed with the individual stories of each character because I
Yeah,
was already pulled into the anime with the fact that I talked about the Bible kind of Jesus lore and how it turns it on its head. But then the fact that each character has such unique struggles and stories of how they even met each other too. Like Bon is technically intertwined with King because he was in love with his sister Elaine, and then
yes.
King thought that Bon had killed Elaine to become immortal when that's not what had happened. You know, and
When
like
we got
that.
the Bond backstory, I remember like crying. That episode was so good.
Oh, that was really sad. I did cry when I first watched it. Um, yeah,
I guess we could talk about Meliosis. Meliosis, is that his name? Why is that
Meliodas.
Meliodas? I was like, I'm adding an extra letter there. Meliodas and Elizabeth, like not like spoiler talking, but like obviously when you first watch it, you're like, this is weird. What's
Hmm.
happening here? But I think their relationship is so prominent throughout the whole time because, like you said before, like him showing his rage, it only really comes out when it's like protecting her.
Yeah, and I just think each one of the sins themselves really struggle with their power. You know.
Yeah, I think that's what I think. They're very much tested at all times. Like obviously they like make Diana not that cool because she's a woman. They're like, wow, she's so envious of Meliodas. And it's like, okay, can we get more with her? But like with everyone, like even like if you go towards the end, I remember we're talking about the whole season, so things are gonna get spoiled. I don't care.
Yeah, sorry guys. This is season 1
When
recap.
yeah, when Bon finds out the only way to get his girlfriend back is to kill Meliodas.
Well, the angels told him if you
Yeah,
kill Meliodas, we'll like resurrect Elaine.
I would argue that that is like another form of him being tempted with greed. Like
Yes. Yeah.
you are
Yes.
so you are so greedy and you want what you want. Will you kill your best friend for it?
Oh yeah. And he was like, yeah.
He
That
did.
was like if they asked Mariah, would you kill Kinsey to have lifelong haiku content? She'd be like
I
maybe.
mean, yeah,
Oh
like
my
at all
god.
moments that they're challenged with that. I mean, King's what was his? He was the sin of he was sloth, right?
Oh wait, hold on. He was sloth. Merlin is what is it? I
Um,
think hers is gluttony.
yeah,
I think hers is gluttony. He's sloth.
yeah, because Gunther was the fucking lust one, which
Yeah, that
we
was a
can't talk
real
about
big
that one too
letdown.
much, but
That was a real big letdown for
that's a
sure.
big season 2 thing.
No, wait, what are you talking about? He's in season 1. And the
Yeah,
recap.
but you get his background later.
Oh, his background. Yes. And you know who we haven't met?
Oh yeah, we haven't met Escanor.
Escanor. I love that bitch. Oh my god, I'm crazy
He's a
about
good
him.
one. Why don't I remember
I'm
what
crazy about
King was
that man.
sloth,
Look,
right? So like
this my man. Yes, sloth.
this my man. I don't know throughout the story, at least season 1, where he was
It
tested
is.
with sloth. I can't
Wait, hold
think.
on. Well, first of all, I don't know what you're talking about because when that man doesn't have hit, I don't know if you remember the fight when they were winning Diane's
Yeah.
her treasure, her hammer. Yeah, he had to fight, and they said if King doesn't use his treasure, he's literally weak as fuck, and he lost his fight.
Oh yeah, he can't do
And
shit
he
without his
constantly
tools.
sits on his pillow. He sits on his pillow and he floats around and he sleeps all the time. So if anything, that man's dealing with his sin 24/7. You know, like
Yeah.
24/7, he dealing with his sin. Also, which this was talked about in season 1. King's background is that he is king of the fairies, and that
Yes.
his people got mad at him because he left and he didn't do his job as king of the fairies, and they're like, "You're so fucking lazy, like you can't do shit. Like you're worthless because you can't do anything." When he
Yeah.
actually left for some of his friend lore, he was trying to figure out what had happened with his friend and stuff like that. But then he convinced himself, he's like, I am lazy because if I cared, I would have been there sooner, and blah, 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 you know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
so I
his sin
think
is something he
that's
deal
like
with on the daily.
a cool thing to reflect on the fact that they're just tested every day. Like the reason they are the way they are, where they're at in life, is because of their sins and how far they've gotten them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I obviously watched more than season one, but I remember watching this, like reflecting on season one, and I was like, "What's that scar on Meliodas' face again?" I wrote it down to ask you before you recorded, but I remember now what's up with it.
What do you have to
But it was
say
a
about it?
it was a big thing in season one. I don't think they talk about it in season one.
Oh, so we're not spoiling or nothing.
Not past season one. But it was a big. I forgot how big of a deal it was.
You know who I wish we were talking about? Meliodas' brother.
I didn't like him like you liked him.
I don't know why you don't like him. He's hot. I'm not saying he's the best character ever. I can't even talk about him because this is season one recap, but he's so hot.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
He's crazy though. Like,
I mean, a little bit.
Out of all my anime crushes, I would lock him up and just look at him, but I would never trust him because he's crazy.
Yeah.
He is.
Gosh. I don't. The only thing I don't remember much about is like Elizabeth's like story. I know they talk about it for a little bit in season one.
Well, at the end of season one, last episode, she finds
runs
out.
away.
What?
She runs away. Just keep talking.
She finds out that she's like a high priestess / descendant of the angels, but like they didn't tell her everything about it. She just has this power. That's why she was able to heal everybody when, you know, Henderson was doing some crazy shit. That's why all the grass appeared and all that stuff.
Oh,
and
yes.
her eye turns yellow and it has a plus in it.
I forgot about that.
Or something like that. And I forgot about that. But yeah, like she, by seeing, what's the pig's name? Little piggy. When sees little piggy get roasted alive and dies, like confirmed died. She felt so bad that she awakened her like high priestess power and was able to heal everyone in the vicinity. And then they were able to defeat Henderson or whatever his name is. Also, I don't know if you were paying attention or if you remember, because it's been quite some time since we watched it. That bitch Henderson, something that stresses me out about the lore of this whole show is that when you watch, like, you know about the demons. You remember the red demon that he was taking blood from to give people demon power? Well, those demons at one point, like, were running around the world doing whatever the fuck they wanted. They were, like, killing people. And there were demons even stronger than the red demons, which were the gray demons that Henderson found really, really deep in the earth. Those big tall ones that had like sun star faces kind of thing. And those demons were created before the red demons, and they were even more powerful than them. But because they were so powerful, the blood from the corpses, like the old corpses, would like kill things if you tried to insert it into anything. You know, like it was too powerful. So that's why he had taken the red blood from the red demons to turn into that first. And then if he was strong enough, he'd be able to take the gray blood from the gray demons to get even stronger. Which is why at the end of the season, he had like those horns and he looked all fucked up and all that stuff. Because he was able to like properly take it. So those demons are like historical. Like, they are basically little glimpses or hints of what did the world look like before like humanity had some sort of like control, or do they really have control is like what they're trying to tell the viewers. Like, is humanity living within like a fake peace right now, and are there like eternal beings like angels and demons that are actually just kind of dormant or like hiding themselves right now? And those
haven't like some of the Sins been alive for like so long? Like, hasn't Meliodas been alive for like hundreds of years?
Yeah. And there's reasons why he has, and a lot of people don't know that about him or understand why. So it goes more into the lore of that. But that's something that really had gotten me hooked into the show because I also love shows or media or anything where there's like maybe a time and place. Time and place. I know it's just my chair. It does that noise all the time. I
Oh.
fucking hate it. But like in the past, maybe there's like divine beings living and existing, and then like a big war happens or like
Yeah, it says that they're
conflict.
like 3,000 years old. It says that Estranor is like 3,500 years old.
Hell yeah, he is. That's my bitch. I love him. I love Escanor. And the fight with Escanor when you first see him is well,
It's
every fight
good.
with Escanor, it's like he's OP. I'm sorry. I think Escanor could beat Meliodas. That's how good he is.
But like canonly, Meliodas is supposed to be like the strongest, right?
Yeah, but there's a reason why he's not at his like top
He's
strength
not
right
at
now.
his peak though. Yes, you're
If
correct.
if he's not at his peak, I think Escanor could beat him. I think he
Yeah.
could. Easy. Because Escanor's powers get stronger as the sun
The
sets
sun.
higher in the sky, and he scares me when that
Your
happens.
Leo rising loves that shit.
I'm like, yes. That's why I love him. He's the definition of Leo rising. Shut, Miss
I
Virgo
can't
rising.
talk. I can't talk. Bond's my favorite.
Yeah, I was about to
That man
say,
is toxic. He's not really. He's actually very loyal.
yeah, he's in love with Elaine. Elaine.
I always want what I can't have.
I always want what I can have.
Because Diana's also in love with someone else.
Well, yeah, right now she's in love with Meliodas.
So she wouldn't even look at me if I was there. If I was like,
Escanor.
sup? She'd be like,
Diana.
anyway.
This would be like, have your boombox.
Yeah.
Diana, please talk to me. I like how Escanor has a huge crush on Merlin.
It's so precious.
It's so cute. I think she likes him too. But she's just like, she likes to tease him because when he's not in his Leo sun energy, he's too afraid to talk to her. And she's like, I actually want to fuck that version of you.
Yeah.
And like,
And he's like,
like literally gonna pass out. Ugh, I love him.
gosh, it's fine. Diana's 30 feet canonly in the anime.
So you're like a fourth of her.
Not even.
No, you're a fifth. You're a fifth of that bitch because you're 6'2".
Yeah.
6 times 5 is 30. So you are wait. Wouldn't that be 1/5?
You're asking me to do math, dude.
Hold on.
I can't do that shit.
Hold on. Okay, let's see here.
Well, you know what? Bond's 6'11",
6
apparently.
divided by 30.2. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so you're 1/5 her height. He's 6'11".
That's what it says on
You might as well
this
just call it 7 feet. Jesus Christ.
It says on this website that he's 6'11". That's so tall.
Something I love about anime is although it's like most of the time it's like humans and like maybe they're fairies, maybe they're giants, whatever the fuck. They be making it so out of pocket for regular humans. Like Bond being 6'11", or like Levi being as OP as he is. Like no human I feel like could ever fucking do that.
No.
Like, oh, he has Ackerman blood. Don't worry about it. Like
yeah, we're just gonna give you a reason that it doesn't exist in the human world, so you can't question it.
Yeah, it's like it's a part of the vibe, so either get with it or don't.
He has Ackerman blood. You guys don't know. You don't even need to know what that means. Just know that he has Ackerman blood.
Yes.
And I'm like, cool, thank you.
Yeah. You know, I gotta talk about a complaint about this fucking show. Because when I watched the show and they showed the poster board of what these fuckers looked like, and I thought Meliodas was gonna be hot as fuck. He's a child.
They're like, here's these hot characters, and then you zoom in on Meliodas.
Yeah. Meliodas is not hot. I think his design's really like cool as a character. He's not hot. He's a kid.
Also, they give a reason for like the other characters changing their face. Like King, they're like, hey, you changed forms, and he like talks about it. They don't explain why Meliodas changed forms.
In the later seasons, from what I've gathered, like I don't think Meliodas has ever looked like that. I think that, like from what this is a spoiler. People thought his brother, which is the hot one that you don't like, they thought that was Meliodas because he's the grown man looking ass. So it was actually just a mix-up. Like Meliodas never looked like that.
Gotcha.
And Meliodas also has a third brother that looks exactly like him, but with a black hair swoosh. He looks like the way Sonic and Shadow look, basically.
was gonna say that.
Meliodas is Sonic and his brother's Shadow.
Shadow.
And then he randomly has an even younger brother who looks like a full-grown man. So
Who is a full-grown man. It's hilarious.
I'm hoping by the end of the show that Meliodas has some sort of transformation that makes him into Mr. Hot Beefy Man that looks like his younger brother, but blonde.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping. Wait,
Yeah.
I gotta look something up. Just because I need to double check. Oh, wait, I was about to look something up and Escanor was on the screen. I was like, I don't want to let him go. Okay.
Yeah, I do remember the drawings on the first episode where they look like completely different people. And I was like, oh, these are the characters I'm meeting. And then I'm like, oh, no, they look nothing like that. But you know what? I think that Meliodas being a small boy is so fitting for his character because he's got like such like high and mighty energy. And then he's just like, hey, guys, how's it going?
Turn this into a full-grown man. Okay, what the fuck?
I can't.
Oh, no.
Is it just a picture of Meliodas?
Yeah, it is. But like, so I haven't watched more of the show, so I couldn't tell you if I know if Meliodas is gonna look bigger. But I've seen on manga panels. Let me just send them to you.
Yeah.
Let me just send them to you. I've seen on manga panels that there are like there's like an older version of him. This is me just speculating, guys. I don't know anything about the truth.
I wonder if there. I don't think there's a new season yet.
Look like a man. That's what I want. And then I want to see him talk to. Is this animated?
Yeah, we already talked about Gunther a little bit, but like we talked about how upsetting it was that he was the sin of lust.
Let's complain about that. Okay.
but before we complain, I see what they were going with his character. They were like, we want this character to be like a non-binary, like can be man, can be woman, lust.
That's not what I'm complaining about.
But
because I think, like, from what I really love hearing about people when they have like a spin-off of what they think of Aphrodite or like gods of love, there's always like this non-binary aspect of like men and women or other people are attracted to this being because they practically like fulfill anyone's desire. So I really loved the idea of a non-binary character for the sin of lust.
But they did them dirty.
They did them dirty. Like, what's his name? Gother?
Gother.
No, it's Gother. Gunther is the name of a penguin in Adventure Time. That's Gother the penguin.
Yes, like, Gother.
But Gother, I don't like his personality, which there's a reason why, which isn't his lore, and I can't say anything about it. I liked the shade of his hair color. I actually would have loved if they kept that hair color for a different design. But like overall, I just felt like girl, I ain't attracted to you. You're not giving off lust vibes to me. And you don't have to be like all tittied up for me to feel that way. But I'm just saying, like, there was no riz. There was no like.
Yeah, I would say even though, like we said before, like the characters were like the opposites of their sins, or they were being tested with their sins every day. Even like Gother could have still been like a little more. I don't know what it could have taken because obviously Meliodas does not look like the sin of rage when you look at him. Wrath.
Yes.
And like they don't look like King does not look like the sin of sloth. But they could have did just a little more to give me like some sort of lust vibes. Like even if it was just Riz, even if his character design stayed the same, but he was like a little flirty.
Well, like he had Riz that was like quality. I would have taken the stupid ass design and been like, clearly he is the sin of lust because he knows what he's doing. And I think they tried to make him like that, but it wasn't successful because clearly, was I bricked up? No, I wasn't.
Because even the sin of gluttony didn't look like that.
Gluttony.
Okay, gluttony. I think you can say gluten.
No,
I'm just stupid today, everyone. Of gluttony, like obviously she did not represent like imagery wise gluttony, but her character and the way she acted was very much like
the way she constantly wants knowledge.
Yes.
And like she like consistently
knowledge,
like,
power,
I can't
all
get
of
enough,
it.
I can't get enough. Like that's definitely gluttony, you know.
Yeah. So it's kind of a bummer because I think lust is a very iconic like sin.
That's everybody's like favorite sin. So what? Why did they flop so hard on it? It was just a flop. I didn't like it.
And I'm obviously not caught up. Like I'm to the point where I've gotten his backstory, but I'm still kind of like, that's not good enough.
You know what I think would have been a really cool lust design is if they hid their face, like they covered their face up, but they were incredibly like rizzed up and like good at talking to people. So like if they had like a visual aesthetic that felt so not just non-binary, but you don't get access to the way I look, yet you can't deny that you want me. I think that would have been such a fun lust concept, you know? Or
Yeah.
just go the iconic route of make them hot. I'm sorry. Just
Well, I mean, I agree. Like when you think of lust, like lusting is like very much like dehumanizing of the person. So like,
yeah,
give me just a body.
give
Give
me just
me
a body.
just like whatever. Like, or what if like to every person lust appeared differently?
Well, actually, that's funny you say that because in Percy Jackson, Aphrodite changes her appearance to whoever she's speaking to. So it's it
Mm,
changes to the definition of what you find beautiful,
yeah.
and she will turn into a woman, a man, anything. She'll be like, whatever you like, you
She
know.
gonna flip flop for me on the dates? No kidding.
Yeah, on the days when you're like, I'm feeling Diane Aphrodite, she's like, okay, and she turns into Diane.
Oh my
But yeah,
god.
I was actually gonna say that too, because that is a concept done by people before. It would have been a lot of work, you know, like you'd have to have like several different designs for that lust
Well, then
character.
maybe it's not even you show the design. Maybe it's just you show the character's reaction to it. Like it's still the same character. It's still Gother, but when the person looks,
Yeah,
they're like describing something different, or they're like,
and then
you
maybe
know,
once in a while to give us like some crumbs, they show us what that person's seeing,
yeah.
you know,
Like
and
it's
it's
as
just
simple as me looking at the same character and being like, "Oh my god, I love your long brown hair," and then they shoot to Gother, and he's there with this little purple hair.
He's like, I love your shoulders. They're so nice and big. And Gothar's over here all tweaked up, dude.
Honestly, that would have
Yeah.
been funny.
I think that would have been cool. I was very
Gosh.
disappointed with the sin of lust. Um
Yeah.
I wish I could talk more about the show, but like this the spoilers. I need to watch more of the show, but
Mm. I mean, I guess we could talk spoilers a little bit. We'll put a spoiler ring right here. Ready? I'll add the sound effect. Pew pew pew. Spoiler past season 1. So
how's
now's
season
your chance to
one?
leave. If you're still here and you don't want to hear past season 1,
Leave.
leave now.
Um
Okay.
yeah, okay, because like I mean, there's only so much we could say about the show. It's a really good show, but we've kind of said everything about season one. Unless there's particular characters you want to talk about their
I think the
backstory.
really important part of season 1 is just them introducing, because there's so many characters, right?
Yeah.
Like technically we didn't even meet the last sin at this point.
Are you sure?
I think well, yeah, in season 1
Oh, Escanor. We haven't met
you don't meet
Escanor.
Escanor. So season 1 is so important to the buildup of like, here's the characters, here's the purpose of the story, here's what we don't and do like. I think that's why season 1 has not, I don't want to say not a lot to talk about, but there's not a lot there.
Yeah, they showed my man in season 2 because he's that cool. You had to wait.
Honestly, I think if he was in season 1, it would be a whole different story.
Oh yeah. I mean, look at his OP power. They would have.
Yeah. So we get to the end of season 1, you know, they're Bon and Meliodas are like, we'll finish our fight later. Diane is still there.
Then,
Elizabeth finds out that she's like not human and she runs away. And that's how season 1 ends.
um, I wanted to talk about the biggest spoiler in the show.
Yeah, I figured. But that's not even a season 2 spoiler. That's like a whole show spoiler.
Never mind then.
The next time we'll try and do that.
We'll be like season 2 recap of Seven Deadly Sins and the biggest spoiler in the show.
Because I haven't even watched the last season, so I only know about the spoiler from you. Yeah.
Whatever.
But season 2 introduces the 10 Commandments, right?
Yes. Season 2 also introduces a relationship between two of the Seven Deadly Sins.
Who?
You watched it?
I don't know. I remember.
Well, what the fuck? I don't want to tell you because what if you like didn't digest it or something?
Tell me.
Diane and King.
What?
Diana and King, yeah. She remembers like her memories of him.
Oh! Sorry. I remember. Yeah.
Why you lurched forward? I was
Yeah, because she talks about her backstory with the other giant.
yes, the king of the giants.
Yes,
And
yes.
and we get to meet the really sexy previous king of the fairies.
Was
He,
he sexy?
no, but I thought he was really pretty. He was definitely gay, but I liked him.
Yeah. It's okay.
You know.
Gosh.
But yeah, it's Diana remembers her memories with King, and uh, well, like you just see in like throughout season 2, she starts to like kind of question what her feelings for Meliodas
Yeah.
are. Like she's just like,
She, like, reflects on her envy, like,
yeah, she's
why
just
am
like,
I
dude,
wasting my time?
why am I wasting my time? Like honestly, I don't even have that much fun with you. Like maybe I like a version of you I kind of made up in my head. Blah blah blah. Um, and she just starts focusing on herself a little bit more, which I really like to see, and then notice that she actually had feelings for King. And they actually did it together. They had like a whole little arc you saw where they were both hanging out with the Fairy King and the King of the Giants. And they were training them to get them stronger and stuff like that.
Yeah. Honestly, it's a really sweet story. I really it made me sad, like, because you find out in season 1 how he erased her memory. Like, you find that out early.
Yeah.
But, like, seeing it actually played out, it was so sad. And, like, I'm glad that she, like, has that reflection on, like, why am I envious and, like, why am I in love with fucking Meliodas? And then she's kind of like, I think there's someone who actually cares about me.
Yeah.
Just, like, normal teenage girl things.
I think she just learned what like the genuine, like what is the feeling of real care for someone besides like idolization. Like
Yes.
I have several celebrities that I'm like, okay, I think you're really hot, but if I really got to know you, would I like you?
Yeah.
Would I just think you're hot? I think that's kind of how it happened with her and Meliodas. What I think is so funny is King is literally a fairy, and she's a giant, and
A
to have like
giant.
a fairy and a giant dating is really funny.
Yeah, and, like, it shouldn't happen, but they just happen to both kind of be in the same situation in life.
Mm-hmm. It's funny.
Gosh. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to finish up that show. Because I think I finished season 3. Or I'm, like, almost done with season 3.
I should just pull up the Escanor fight today to watch. Sometimes I do that because I think it's so good. But I
I think
want
the
to.
reason why I fell off is because the Ten Commandments arc was very long.
Oh, it's really long.
Because it, like, continued to the next season, and I got annoyed.
The thing about binging anime is like, I gotta be sick or like severely in a position that does not require me to do other things to binge it all the time. And even then, you hit like a limit of like I've just watched too much. So I need to chill. And I think the last time I watched Seven Deadly Sins, I was either super depressed or really sick. So I watched literally 20 episodes practically almost back to back. I was like just sleeping, eating, and going to bed, and I'd
Yeah.
pull up and watch it again. It was like during one of my breaks or something, like winter breaks. And I just needed a break from it because I was watching too much, and now it's been 3 years since I. Wait, the first break I took was just because they didn't have a new season out,
Mm-hmm.
and then they had the new season out. I watched too many videos up again, back to back.
You had already spoiled it for yourself, so.
And I was like, I need a break again. So haven't watched it in 3 years. Who's messaging me? Nobody. Just some random. I followed a My Little Pony group chat on Facebook to try to sell my keychains.
Yeah.
Nobody has asked about them.
It's okay.
I was very sad.
You're getting there. You're getting there.
There's not. I can't think of anything else to talk about for the show. Like,
It's okay. We had a good time. I mean, the minimum is like 40 minutes, so we're good.
yeah, I mean the characters are hot, guys. Honestly, it's not no Attack on Titan. There is plot and there's like some cool things, like we mentioned, all the things like the Jesus symbols and the cool weapons and the really cool.
It's a feel good anime. What did I been calling? It's a slice of life. That's what I've been calling every anime that I don't have like any other
Every
story
anime
to.
that's not Attack on Titan, it's a slice of life. Like there's literally demons and
Here's
like
my categories for animes: Attack on Titan, sports anime,
slice
romance, slice of life. That's how I
right.
separate all anime.
And obviously, that for me at least, I have not found an anime that is as in depth as Attack on Titan. So that's the only one in that category right now.
Yeah. I know there's like what's it shonen animes. That's technically
Shonen
what.
is like the runner up to like Attack on Titan.
Yeah,
For
like
what I've watched.
everything.
For what
I
I've
think
watched.
what I actually watch the most of is probably shonen, but I ignore that category and I put everything somewhere else.
Yeah, because I'm just like, you're not Attack on Titan. Like, you're a good story. You got some good plot suspense, but you're not like the intricacy of what Attack on Titan is. So like for sure the sports anime for you. I've watched a few sports anime, but not a lot. I watch a lot of slice of life and a lot of romance.
That's why I just put my anime under slice of life. I'm like Skate the Infinity might be a sports anime, but that's a slice of life.
I would consider that one slice of life. Not that skateboarding isn't a sport, but that one is so centered around like having fun and enjoying your
Yeah.
life, and skateboarding just happens to be a part of it. While like haiku, for example, yes, they literally just want to enjoy volleyball, but so much of it is competitive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like they're
Well,
constantly
I would put Seven Deadly Sins also under slice of
slice
life.
of life. Yeah, just trying to like enjoy my life.
Just trying to like enjoy life. It's because that's how I'm like that's my life. I'm envisioning myself in there.
I'm really excited because I've been watching several new animes recently. So the one I'm gonna be showing next week, or whenever we make the video, is not the ones I'm mentioning right now. But like I recently have been watching Spy X Family. Love that one. Either Kaylin or I are probably gonna be the ones to present that one. I watched Kimi no Todoki, a romance anime. So fucking good. Literally healed me, gave me new expectations for what I'm looking for in a partner, which is awesome. And then the one I'll be showing this upcoming week is Sugar Apple Fairy Tale, which Mariah need to watch.
I've watched 3 episodes.
Oh, I can't ask you about it right now because we have to save it.
I can cut it, but
Well, we should probably say goodbye first, and then I can talk to you about it.
Okay. Well, see you guys next week where Kinsey will be sharing Sugar Apple Fairy Tale.
Sugar Apple Fairy Tale.
It's a mouthful. I'm gonna be honest.
It is. It's the most stupid name ever for how amazing the anime is.
I understand everything except for the apple part. I'm like, sugar, I got that.
Yeah,
I've
you
only
just
3
say
episodes
Sugar
in, so I'm
Fairy
like, got
Tale.
it.
Sugar Fairy
Tale. Got it. Fairy
Or-
tale. I'm like, but where's the apple
If
at?
you're not gonna have the word fairy tale, you could say sugar apple something.
Yeah. You just leave it at fairy. Sugar apple fairy.
Yeah, actually, sugar apple fairy, because she makes sugar, like treats with apples, and there's
Yeah.
fairies in the whole fucking show. Sugar
Yeah.
apple fairy.
But the fairy tale, it's because it's her fairy tale. You know, they just had to add that extra word.
Yeah.
So next week, sugar apple fairy.
Sugar apple fairy tale. Next week, guys. See you then.
Bye.
Bye.